Hello students, I hope you all are doing well. So today in this video, we are going to see line by line explanation of the poem The Road Not Taken. This poem is written by Robert Frost, and Robert Frost is a very renowned American poet. So let's begin. This well-known poem is about making choices and the choices that shape us. Robert Frost is an American poet who writes simply but insightfully about common ordinary experiences. So students, I have already told you the summary of this poem in my previous video, and I told you that this poem is all about making choices and how those choices have a great impact in our life. This poem is written by Robert Frost, and this poet usually writes about common or day-to-day life experiences in his poem, and through these very ordinary experiences he tries to give a deep message in his poem. Similarly, he has done in this poem also, The Road Not Taken. So let's come to the first stanza. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveller, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. So students, first try to understand what these two roads symbolize here. Two roads symbolize the choices in our life, or you can say the options we have in our life. And you can see the picture also. There is a boy in the picture. He is standing at the place. You can consider this boy as the poet. So in front of the poet there are two roads, and this boy, or you can say the poet, he has to choose. He has to decide on which road he has to move further. So let's see the first line. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. So the poet is saying that there are two roads, and these two roads diverged. Diverged means separated in a yellow wood. Yellow wood, or you can say yellow forest, and yellow wood symbolizes autumn season. And sorry I could not travel both. So the poet is feeling sorry that it was not possible for him to travel both the roads at the same time. And be one traveler, long I stood. So what the poet did, he kept on standing at the same place for a long time. Why? And looked down one as far as I could. He kept on standing there to analyze the roads. Roads symbolize the choices in his life. He has to make a decision at that certain point of time, and before making the decision, before choosing the one road, he wanted to analyze both the roads, and it needed some time. So he kept on standing for a long time at the same place to analyze both the roads. And then what he did, he looked down the first road as far as it was possible for him to look, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Bent means curved, and undergrowth means bushes, or you can say the small plants. So he kept on looking the first road till it bent in the bushes, till his view was blocked by the bushes or the small plants. So students, I hope that you have understood the first stanza very well. Now come to the second stanza. Then took the other just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had warned them really about the same. So what the poet is saying in the second stanza, he's saying then took the other. So after analyzing the first road, he started analyzing the second road. Just as fair. Just as fair means the second road was similar to the first road, and having perhaps the better claim. So the poet is saying the second road was having perhaps the better claim. Better claim means it was looking better than the first road at that time to the poet. Perhaps means maybe. And why this second road was looking better to the poet at that point of time? Because it was grassy and wanted wear. Because it was full of grass. The second road was full of grass and wanted wear. Wanted wear means this second road was not used much by the people. Means very few people had traveled on it. So what this thing shows us about the nature of the poet? This second road was looking better to the poet because less people had traveled on it. And usually what happens, the things which are risky, they are like avoided by the people. In the same way, this road was also avoided by the people because it may be a risky or an adventurous road. So the poet was going to choose this road, which shows us that poet was going to choose a different road. He was going to do something different in his life. Though as for that, the passing there had warned them really about the same. So in the first view, the poet thought that the second road was less traveled by the people, but then he's saying in the fourth and fifth line that when he walked on that second road, his view changed and he realized that the first road was also equally the second road was also equally traveled by the people. Means both the roads were traveled equally by the people. So I hope you have understood. Come to the next stanza. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. Now the poet is telling us about that morning. That morning means when he was standing at that certain place and both the roads were lying in front of him. So it was the morning time and both the roads were lying equally covered in leaves. And no step had trodden black. Trodden means walked. So what the poet is trying to say, that the leaves had not turned black. Why? Because less people had stepped on them. Oh, I kept the first for another day. So at that time, the poet decided to walk on the second road. It was the morning time and before him very few people had traveled through that road. So that's why, not very few people, actually no one had traveled. That's why no step is written here. Okay. Oh, I kept the first for another day. So he kept the first road for another day and he chose to walk on the second road. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. Now the poet is saying that he knew that it won't be possible for him to come back again and to walk on the first road. Because what happens whenever you take any decision or you make any choice in your life, you have to move further with the same decision. You cannot undo your decision and you can take the decision again. So that's why you have to choose very wisely. And the same thing the poet is trying to say, that he knew that it won't be possible for him to come back again and to walk on the first road again. Now let's come to the last stanza. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. So students, you see, I shall be. This is showing us the future. So the poet is telling us about the future. Sigh means with deep breath. Ages and ages means many years. So what the poet is trying to say, the poet is trying to say that after so many years I shall be telling about this experience to the people, that what happened in my life and what I did, what I chose, and I'll tell that I chose the road which was less traveled by the people, and that has made all the difference. So the poet is admitting in the last line of the poem that whatever he decided that day, that has made all the difference, that has completely changed his future, that has affect his future, affect his life completely. So what the poet is trying to convey in this poem, the poet is trying to say that whatever you are going to decide or whatever choice you are going to make in your life, you have to move further with the same decision. You cannot undo your decision and you cannot take your decision back. So whatever you are going to decide, you have to be very wise. You have to analyze the situation and only then you have to decide. You cannot or you should not take any decision in a hurry. So students, I hope you have understood and enjoyed this poem, and if you have any problem you can comment in the comment section below and you can ask me. You read this poem again and try to understand the poem. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye, take care.